Please welcome Vernique Henfield.
Hello, everyone. You ladies look amazing, I must say. And your dishes look delicious, your drinks and everything. But thank you for hanging with us. And thank you for that amazing introduction. So now I know that at the beginning of 2020, many of us, we had so many goals set, like I did, including financial goals. And then boom, a pandemic happened. We didn't see this coming. And you're like, what is this, right? I know we all can agree. But anyway, I just want to encourage you that the year is not over. It's only Q2 and we got this. So I have a few things I want to go through just to kind of help you navigate through this time financially. And one of the first things I always advise is when you're trying to figure out your financial situation, you should see where you're at. And a part of that is asking yourself, what is my net worth? So your net worth is essentially your personal assets minus your personal liabilities. Now, your assets will be the cash you have in the bank, your land, your vehicle, and so on and so forth. And then your liabilities will be like loan and debt. So it's just that simple equation. Well, simple to me, hopefully it's simple to you. And then you would see where you are, where your financial status is. We're hoping for positive numbers when we get our assets minus our liabilities. But it's called a personal financial statement. And if you guys need a template, I can send you one, or you can just go online and Google it. Right? So next slide. Next, it's all about budgeting. I know a lot of people are like, oh, come on, y'all are telling us just budget, but we're only making one set of funds. And how do you want me to budget this? That's fine, right? You cannot necessarily budget your way into wealth, but the key to budgeting is mapping out your finances to kind of help you sort through and organize yourself to see what you're making and where it's going, because that's key. That's key for you to find out how you can cut your expenses and how you can make your financial situation a tad bit better, right? And how you can add additional income and so on. A lot of people aren't familiar with the different terminology, so I just want to quickly run through them. I'm not going to bore you to death with it, but there are two types of income: active income, passive income. Active income is the income you make from your 9 to 5 if you have one, or from your mainstream income, right? And passive income is like from rent or dividends or so on and so forth. Now, gross income and net income, we should know the difference between that, because when you're doing your budget, you want to use your net income. Your gross income is essentially the funds you make before any taxes or any deductions are taken out of your payroll. So we're going to use our net income when we're using our budget to say income minus expenses. I hope you ladies are sticking with me. If you are, I need to see some comments. Oh, fellow accountant, hey, using Mint right now. Awesome. Mint is great. Good, good, good. And if you have any questions, I went to Barry. Shout out to you, Barry sister. But if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and just ask. I know I only have like 20 minutes, so we won't take up all of the time. But let's keep going. So yes, apps like Mint, Good Budget, Pocket Guard. We have some people who use Mint already. I like to use a spreadsheet. I don't know, that's just me. So if you need a spreadsheet, a template for a budget, you can hit me up and let me know. I can send that to you. Some people may write it down. I'm not a fan of that. And then a lot of people I see tend to use the envelope method. That's basically when you get your funds, you just like sort it out into envelope, like this is for utilities, this is for rent or mortgage, so on and so forth. Now, next slide. Prefer Excel. I prefer Excel as well. Yes, spreadsheets are the best. Oh, so a lot of people, please explain Mint. Mint is an app. It's a mobile app. So you just have to go into iOS or Google Store, Google Play, what it's called. Google Sheets. I definitely use Google Sheets. And the key to Google Sheets for me, what I love is that you can update it at any time, right? From any device. Spreadsheets are good and easy to import. Yes. So navigating a financial crisis. Unfortunately, this is where we're at, guys. Pandemic, social distancing. A lot of people temporarily or permanently laid off. Such a sad situation. So as I go through this, I have to tell you guys that personal finance is not a one cap fit all. We all know this because we live different lives. We have different lifestyles. We do different things, different family situations, and so on. So I tend to like to segment it into two groups. It probably can be broken down more, but for the sake of time and clarity, we just use two. So group A are for the folks who have like no savings, no emergency fund, and it's okay if you're in group A and you don't have to say whether you're in group A or group B. That's okay, right? But it's for those persons who lived paycheck to paycheck and then boom, this happened, the pandemic. Group B, the P word. I don't want to even announce this word again, the P word. And then Group B, for those who have liquid assets, savings, they have an emergency fund, and I'll explain what emergency fund is. So the money management tips is essentially for everyone, but I just want to start off with Group A. Here's my recommendations to you, because maybe you won't have the funds to invest, or you won't have the funds to start a pension or start an emergency fund. So this part of the segment will be for you guys who trying to figure out, like, sis, how are we going to make more money? How are we going to cut our expenses? So I don't know if some of you have already tried to call your creditors or your financial institutions to inquire about payment deferral, but I just want to tell you, yes, this is a great option, but be mindful and ask them about fees, or if you're accrued interest. I think they're going to be accruing interest, so kind of ask them. So if you're deferring my loan or my debt for 3 months or for 6 months, what will be my interest that will be accrued each month? So you can know, coming out of this situation, what you're going to be facing. I think that it's very kind that creditors are allowing people to defer it if they, cannot afford it right now because they lost their jobs and all of that. But be mindful about asking about those fees or accruals and all of that, accrued interest. Email me at Tutor for more information. Okay, so I'm just trying to keep in touch with your the comments and all of that. So next, take advantage of the unemployment benefits and the government assistance. I know we're all from different countries, so that may look different for other people. Cover your core essentials, obviously, first, your food and other necessities to survive. We don't need to be online shopping right now, sis. We don't need that. We have nowhere to go. So be mindful of those things. Now, for those who got laid off or who want to acquire additional income, I did my research. So I found that flex jobs, solid gigs, and remotive, they're pretty good options to look for remote jobs. And yeah, so when you're considering planning for the future now, getting through all of this, and it's going to turn around. We don't know when, but it will turn around. So you want to plan for when everything turns around for our good, right? So create a financial plan, number one. But before you create this financial plan, you have to ask yourself, what are my financial goals? That will look different for all of us. So when you figure out what your goals are, create a realistic monthly budget. I already explained what a budget is, but you always need to adhere to this budget. And please do not overspend, because that will defeat the purpose. And please make sure, save if you can. Now, I'm kind of navigating from Group A to Group B, because I already suggested different things for Group A on how to navigate during this time if you've been laid off, unfortunately. But for those who have some funds right now, I would say make sure you have your emergency fund. If you don't have your emergency fund, start it if you can. I have to be very clear, if you can. And an emergency fund is essentially a bank account. I prefer to keep it in a bank, or some people may just set it aside, where you accumulate funds that can cover 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses. So when something like the P word, you don't want to say the word anymore, happens, unfortunate situations like that, or if you're unfortunately laid off, you can be in a better financial situation. Now, thinking about 3 to 6 months may be overwhelming for some people. So you can start with a goal of, say, okay, by the end of month 1, I'll save like a couple $100. And then by the end of month 2, I'll reach 1K. And then by the end of month 3, to kind of do it in increments so you don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Now, here's how you can pay off your debt if you're in the position to do so. There are 2 ways. There's the avalanche method or the snowball method. I prefer the avalanche method. I prefer to tackle the big amounts first while making minimum payments to the smaller amounts. That's avalanche. And then the snowball is paying the debt from the lowest amounts owed to the greater amounts. Now, I know during this time, this is just information for the future. Some people may have deferred their debt. Some people may still be paying it. But either way, when you come out of this, you want to have a plan. And of course, develop healthy money habits. Don't buy it if you don't need it, and don't live above your means. Don't borrow more than you have, and educate yourself, of course. So there are several different personal finance resources I use, or certain people, I go on their blog, or I read their books, or I watch their videos. And Dave Ramsey, it's one. Susie Orman, Clever Girl Finance, she actually has free resources, like free courses right now. It's usually a charge, so you want to take advantage of that. The Budgetnista, My Fab Finance, the Finance Bar, and I don't know if it's listed on the slide, but finance is domestified as well. So, but you'd also want to consider investment options like savings, insurance, pension, and estate planning. Okay, we're not supposed to be at this slide. Let's go back one more. And let's go back to where we have financial crisis, navigating financial crisis. Because I'm going to talk about investing now. Anyway, so if you're one of those people who want to invest, I think it's key that you understand like the difference between equity and bonds. Bonds are fixed income. They're typically safer to invest in due to the somewhat guaranteed interest payment dates, and it's usually backed by the government. So that's like the safest route as opposed to equity. And I'm not saying don't invest in stocks and all of that, because if the company experiences a high return, then you can benefit from that. But some of the recession-proof companies are food and beverage, delivery services, Amazon, so IT companies, health and senior service industries, and cleaning services are just examples of some of those recession-proof companies that you may want to explore if you're in the position to invest, or if you're curious or you want to look for different ways to make money. And typically, if you're wondering, well, how can I invest? Usually people go through broker dealers, or some people use apps like Acorn, Robinhood, that's like US apps, and I know Wealth Simple is a Canadian app. Now, we're gonna quickly go through saving methods. So there are different ways that people tend to wanna save. I prefer a set dollar amount. Some may prefer setting aside a certain percentage of your income. Some people also try the 50-30-20 rule or the 80-20 rule. So if you're exploring different methods to save, or if you're like, okay, I'm trying and this is not working, for me, I think it's easier if I just set a dollar amount. But I'll still quickly explain like 80-20 and 50-30-20 for those who may want to explore those methods. 80 is like 80% on everything you have to pay, your needs, your necessities, your wants, and then 20 is savings. 50 is 50-30-20, 50 is necessities, 30 are wants, 20 savings, and for those who give back in time, you could adjust it to like 10%. But like I said, I'm a advocate for the set dollar amounts. But it's all about supporting, uplifting. I know this is women empowerment, and I didn't want to bore you guys with all that numbers talk. And I hope you found some of it beneficial. If you have any questions, you can ask me. But let's go to the next slide, Anissa. Sorry, not Anissa, Janine. Let's be our sister keeper. And how can we be our sister's keeper? I think that it's important to find an accountability partner. So if you set up your budget, you set up your financial plan, and you're like, okay, I have to hold myself accountable, but I don't know, I may just overspend by $50, or I may just swipe my card for this dress, and I know I don't need it. Get someone you trust, with exposing your finances and discussing your finances with, and allow that person to hold you accountable. I think that's important. Another way you can support your sister is if she has a business venture. I know we have a lot of Instagram stores and all of that, boutiques, and a lot of our women are out there hustling, out there doing their thing. And I love it. I applaud you guys for that. You can share her pages if it's not in your budget to make a purchase. But I just bought this shirt because I wanted to support one of our local Bahamian entrepreneurs here in the Bahamas, and these lashes. But it was in my budget. It was like $27 or something. During this time, I think if you can kind of squeeze it in, do so without hurting your budget. If not, be sure to share their pages. Send her the links of free courses, financial courses like Clever Girl Finance. Educate yourself. Download those templates. Make it happen. Share it with your sisters. Give a word of encouragement. A lot of people are hurting and you may not know. A lot of people are struggling and you may not know. And it may not be our business what our friends are going through. They may not want to be open about that. So I think it's important to still, like, whether she's smiling or not, to still send an encouraging word, uplift her spirit. But most importantly, send those prayers up because we're going to need it. So in closing, I just want to send all of the love and light and good vibes to you beautiful ladies.
Welcome, Rochelle Wilson, and thank you for being here today.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be speaking to you all today and so excited to meet you all virtually. If you guys want to go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'll go ahead and start with my journey to working at Facebook New York. And I got a good intro here, but yes, I'm a Chicago native and a graduate of the University of Illinois, specifically where I studied advertising throughout my time at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, quite a mouthful, so I'll just call it U of I for short. I spent a myriad of my time really focused on how I can further my career, whether that was, through internships and being very involved in various organizations on campus. And in my undergrad experience, it was my goal to have an internship after every single summer, starting my freshman year, just because from my background, I wanted to make sure that I was competitive enough to get a highly coveted job after graduating. From there, I was lucky enough to get internships, and my very first internship in the tech space was with Google, where I was a sales intern in their Ann Arbor, Michigan office. And it was an amazing experience, and my first experience to tech. And what it really taught me is how lucky and awesome it is to be working at companies that are truly at the forefront of innovation and are truly shaping the world as we see it today, and being able to also bring in the perspective of being a Black woman to these organizations, and thinking about how our impact can cater to our community. After my summer internship with Google, I was lucky enough to start at Facebook in their Austin, Texas office as a new grad, again, in their sales organization over the last 3 years, where I was a partner manager focused on advertising agencies. And then recently have made the switch to Facebook New York, where I work on the education vertical and helping them grow their business and grow their platform through advertising on Facebook and Instagram channels. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So I'll give you guys a really good overview of the community. So if you don't know, you'll learn today that Facebook is a massive organization that owns Facebook, the Blue app, which you'll see here, Instagram and Messenger, and WhatsApp. We have over 2.8 billion people in the entire family, and specifically on Facebook, 2.5 billion people, and on Instagram, 1 billion people, and Messenger, 1.3 billion people. So it's a massive reach. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Today, we'll be focusing on Instagram, which is truly the modern home of visual expression. And I know all my ladies in this chat, I hope you guys have an Instagram account. And we believe that, expression is our greatest connector. When someone shares a piece of themselves with the world, others can understand them a little bit better. Next slide. Instagram has been around for many years, but one thing I wanted to highlight specifically is the rapid changes that have happened in Instagram over the last 5 years. 2015 is a time where many people, specifically brands and businesses, created their Instagram accounts. And in 2015, Instagram was a completely different place. The app was really focused on niche photos dominated by photographers and with landscape shots such as the one that you guys see here. But as we think about what Instagram has become today in 2020, it's truly changed, where we have not only just images, we also have video, we have live events like you guys might have seen over the last couple of weeks. We have IGTV. There's just so much that you can do on the platform with stories. So it's truly changed from just being this one sole home of perfect photos, but really documenting all aspects of your life, and being able to see how businesses have leveraged it is really, really awesome. Next slide. So one of the first things that I would love to speak to you all about today is jumping right into best practices. And these are going to be principles that should guide your high-level strategy. If there's anything that you can take away from my presentation, it should be, getting the most active audience on Instagram is not easy, but it's also something that's really fulfilling. And to get, really good at Instagram, you have to be consistent, and you have to be able to put content out there pretty consistently. Go ahead into the first best practice that I'll talk to you all about. is creating a business profile. So for all my ladies in the audience here today, I would encourage you, if you don't have one today, is to create a professional Instagram profile for your business or for your personal brand. And as of 2017, there are over 25 million businesses registered on Instagram. If you guys can imagine, that number is probably exponentially higher than it is today. And Instagram business profiles are a free feature that Instagram offers to brands that want for their accounts to be recognized as a business, and it offers you the ability to unlock more features than a regular personal profile, such as access to analytics, targeting for ads, and a contact button. And we've recently rolled out a lot of different ways that people can leverage it, especially small businesses, during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next slide. My next tip for you ladies today is to leverage Instagram insights and being able to understand who your current audience is, and then also be able to reach your next audience. So again, if you are a brand, an influencer, or really just trying to understand who's consuming your content, I highly encourage you all to use the insights feature within Instagram to be able to understand who's consuming your content and being able to create content that speaks to them. Next slide. And my recommendation here is, with Instagram, there's, as we've talked about, over 2 billion people on the platform. So it's really important to be able to understand how to program for different audiences. So for here, we have 3 examples. We have the Cram, the Shade Room for teens, and then Now This. All of these are different spin-offs of different main media accounts. I'm sure everyone here might be familiar with the Shade Room, Black-owned, woman-owned business, but created a specific Instagram account because she noticed that with her insights that there are a lot of people who are younger consuming her content, and that everything on the Shade Room's main account was really relevant to them. So having something that specifically spoke to that younger generation, she was able to create a spin-off account and then have content that they can relate to in real time. Next slide. Go ahead and talk about you. Since we've talked about businesses, it's really important that you guys be able to hone Instagram. The next slide. The first slide here, we'll be talking about the profile test. And one thing that you'll notice here is that your profile is a replication of you and what you want to present yourself into the world. So next slide here. Instagram is made up of various different components, and as a best practice, I always like to tell everyone to be able to leverage the different parts of Instagram to really have a solid full profile. The first part is leveraging stories. So you'll see that rainbow ring when you have an active story going on, letting people know what you're doing in real time. When I see really innovative things like people giving sneak peeks about the products that they're rolling out if they are a small business owner. The second portion here is having a bio, having a professional and having your professional links and showing your personality here. So what is your brand? What are you about? Making sure that you're showing that. The next here is your highlight reel. So again, just like you have your stories, over the last 2 years, we recently rolled out the ability to save these stories so you can show your highlights, show people the things that are the most important to you. If you guys are having sales on your website, instead of having to post that sale every single day, you can have it in your stories carousel so people can go back and see your discount codes or see different things that you're talking about. And then we have, of course, the grid here, which is, if you want to go back one slide. We moved up one. Thank you. We have the grid, which is your home of your content, how you can really curate your profile. And I'll also go on and say that even though curation of your profile is extremely important, I believe what we know in terms of the data here at Facebook and Instagram is that most people actually don't visit people's profiles to consume content. A lot of that content is actually consumed in real time while people are scrolling through the feed or swiping through stories. So don't get too hard on yourself or feel like you need to, curate the most beautiful and aesthetically pleasing profile. If you have the time and you have that vision, by all means do it, but that's not where people are going to mostly see your content. So really just focus on that one niche photo or your stories in real time. And here are some examples here, which you guys can read on the screen. If you guys want to go back one, of some examples of when you should post and what you should post for feed, stories, IGTV, and live, all of the different services. And again, I've mentioned at the very top, the key here is to be consistent. If you are a business owner or an influencer, really kind of just trying to find your niche, my biggest recommendation is to always leverage the platform as often as possible. Repetition is key, and that's exactly how you build your audience. And these things don't happen overnight, so please don't get discouraged. Next slide. This recommendation here is really just focused on focusing. Focus, focus, focus. Next slide. We show here there are three great examples of big power accounts that really focused on that I'm saying focus a lot here, really focused on focusing. And one of them that I specifically wanted to highlight here is Unbothered, or Refinery 29 Unbothered. So if you guys aren't familiar, Refinery 29 is a global powerhouse publishing company that has the main account Refinery 29, where they talk about celebrities and beauty and fashion and things that are really related to women overall. R29 Unbothered is their spin-off account that's really hyper-focused on Black women. And I wanted to share this with you all today, that it's possible if you guys have multiple business lines we talked about earlier. It's really important to have multiple streams of income. And if some of those streams of income can be showcased on a digital platform, make spin-off accounts so you have those specific niches for your people in your audience. Next slide here. This is a quick pop quiz. Here are some of the most followed accounts on Instagram, and I would love if you guys can put in the chat, what is something that you notice? I'll give a quick second. You see celebrities, they're all women. That's very true, they're all women faces. And you guys hit it on the head. Some of the most popular accounts that you guys might see right here is that they are people. They're not brands. People don't really want to go to Instagram to follow brands. They want to go to Instagram. You're already being shown ads. People want to go to Instagram because they're following people that they can relate to. So even if you are a brand, see how you can showcase people using it in real time. See how you can showcase have that human element versus just showcasing products. People want to see humans, people want to see faces and know that they're creating some sort of community versus just being talked to from a brand. Next slide. And if you are a brand, here are some of research that we've compiled of why people follow creators. And it turns out there are 4 main reasons as to why people follow an account. The 4 reasons are for entertainment, for information, for education, and for inspiration. Next slide. And with this, I encourage you all to create content that is based off those 4 pillars. Creating content is the core of Instagram, and it should be fun and entertaining. I encourage you all to be real and authentic. I encourage you all to be creative and then also informative. And here are some examples of how people do that through all of these examples here. Next slide. And something else that we've done a lot of research on and that we found is that people come for interests, but they stay attached for personality. And that's what we call internally the path to attachment. Fans will initially come for interest, but they want to see different aspects of your life. They want to see your personality and ultimately your perspective on the world and what makes you different. Influencers do this every day. That's why they're called influencers. So thinking about the ways that you can incorporate your brand to have a personality without having, if you don't have the face or want your face to be the main brand, putting people first and front and center is a really good shortcut to doing that. Next slide. And you guys might think about what type of content should I put on the internet, or on Instagram. So we have here for visuals, think internet-y. As we said earlier, Instagram is no longer just a niche photo app dominated by photographers. It's now a new visual identity that dominates all aspects of communication, whether it's video, whether it's live, whether it's stories. Next. So some best practices here is we recommend shooting your content as people consume their content. So don't worry about having to have, the fanciest camera in the world. Don't feel compelled to have fancy photo editing or video editing software. People like to see things done in real time. People want to be able to relate to the content that you're doing. So shoot on a phone. You don't have to, or mimic or replicate that you are shooting on a phone. People like to be able to relate to your content. So here are 2 examples here of people just using content and then just being able to leverage the different aspects like stories to relate to people. Next slide. And you can do that by just using some of the creative tools within the app rather than relying on an outsourced design team or an advertising agency. You can easily create assets that look and feel like they fit on the platform by using Instagram fonts, by using emojis or GIFs to translate your stories to all parts of the Instagram app. Next slide. And I've highlighted here, there are a lot of different things that you can do creatively on Instagram, but my 3 favorite things that some of them recently rolled out that you guys can leverage are using face filters. If you guys are a fan of those, I think they're really fun. Questions and stickers, which you can engage with your audience by doing polls and asking them questions. So being able to really interact. And then for the audience here that might, especially during these very unforeseen and unprecedented times, we also have a donation sticker that you all can leverage to help a local non-for-profit or a local business. So being able to donate as you would on other surfaces. We've recently rolled out the ability to donate on Instagram through donation stickers. So definitely encourage you guys to leverage that, especially again, as we are in these unforeseen and very challenging times. Next slide. And I'd love to talk to you all today also about building community. So shifting away from you all to building your community, especially as Instagram grows and people are following more and more accounts. It's really important that you keep them engaged with your content and that you need to optimize your content for loyalty. So we'll look here at 3 examples of who've done that in a very great way. The first example is the Lily News. They created a book club series on their Instagram profile where at the top of every month they highlight a book that people in their following will read together, and then they discuss that book and on the variety of their different surfaces, whether that is doing a book recap on their stories or having that book club be done live on Instagram Live. So really innovative ways to really engage with your community. Next slide. Then we have the Good Advice Cupcake, which is an animated therapist of sorts, where it really is like an advice column. So really showcasing, actionable advice that you guys might have seen. A lot of these accounts spur up where there's like online therapy, especially as we're in a generation and a world where, we work and live very hard lives and we want to be able to have positive reinforcement. This is a really cool way to engage with your community by having these advice style columns. And I thought this was really cool and really innovative. Next slide. And this one is really fun. It is a live game show by, of course, the Shade Room. I have them on here again, which hosts occasional game shows through Instagram Live where they'll call and have a random follower join in on the dual screen of Instagram and quiz them about pop culture events that happened during the past week. So the Shade Room, as you guys know, have their followers. They call them even roommates versus just followers. So really being able to engage with them in real time, doing really fun things. So I really hope that you guys take some of these examples of how you can build community. And of course, you guys don't have to create a book club, or you don't have to do an advice column or do a live game show, but these are just some examples of what big publishers are doing. So feel free to kind of think about your audience. Again, know your audience, know the audience that you want to gain, and then be able to talk to them and speak to them in something that you know that they will consume. Next slide. We'll go ahead and then shift into monetization and ads best practices. So feel free to leave a comment here if you guys have ever run ads on Facebook or Instagram. So one of the things that I'd love to encourage you all today, especially when it comes to investing on the platform with sponsored ads, especially on Instagram, is focus on your business goals and don't as much focus on vanity metrics. I like to think of it akin as when you're paying for ads, you're forcing this content into people's feeds. You want to make sure that for every dollar that you're spending on Instagram, it results in ROAS back to your business. And it's great to see, if I'm spending dollars on likes or comments or engagements, that's cute, but that's not bringing money back into your account. So really focus your business goals and the ads objectives that we have within the Facebook ads platform to optimize for your business goals, whether that is purchases, whether that is getting people to your website and getting content views versus less vanity metrics, because you can have 10,000 followers, but I'd rather have $10,000. Next slide. And when it comes to ads through Facebook ads, which is included in Instagram, you guys have the ability to target your ads and show who you want your content to see. And there are two pillars of targeting. There's targeting, which is defined by your audience. What location are they in? Are they in Jamaica? Are they in Brooklyn? Are they in Chicago? What are their demographics? What are their age ranges? What do they look like? And then, of course, you have your interests. What are they interested in? What do you think that they'll be interested in, and why they would be interested in your product? And then on the other pillar, we have optimization, which is what you're telling the Facebook ad system, what you want, them to be more likely to do. So again, you could tell the system, I want to optimize for people who are going to follow me, or I want to optimize for likes or comments, but that's not necessarily going to bring money back into your platform. So it's okay to do that, but don't put your full advertising media budget towards vanity metrics. Really focus on your business metrics. And then the next slide here. While we did speak a lot on Instagram today, I also encourage you guys to leverage the standard best practice that I tell all of my advertisers is to run across the entire family of apps and services. Facebook ads is really unique in that it is an algorithm that will show your content to people in real time, depending on if they're more likely to do that optimization that we talked about earlier, and then what platform they are. And so don't feel the need to silo yourself because, oh, my audience isn't on Instagram, or I don't feel like my audience is on Facebook. It's always important because of the global mass reach of all of these platforms to be able to have your content be shown to people in the platforms that they're using the most. So turning on Facebook, all of the Facebook platforms and posts, and the Instagram and Messenger and WhatsApp and Audience Network is the best way. And another personal anecdote and insight into this is that when you run across the entire family of apps and services versus just siloing in on one platform or one placement, your media investment actually becomes cheaper because you're expanding the amount of opportunities and giving the system the opportunity to find lower cost people versus if you were to only silo onto one portion. Next slide. And then this is an example just from Complex Media about how they pushed merch sales through Instagram. So they had a limited edition print magazine with Kid Cudi and Nigo. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And we found that 61% of the sales occurred through Instagram shopping. So they were able to use the ads targeting to, push sales instead of just focusing on the vanity metrics. Next slide. Well, I'm just ending here with a simple thank you. I really appreciate you guys joining this session. To all my Caribbean women in this event, and specifically my Jamaican women, hello. I definitely hope that you guys got a lot out of this presentation.
First of all, very happy that Kara asked me to be a part of such a positive forum, specifically for women and women of color, as far as I know. And I'm seeing all of your in the chat. I'm seeing all of the comments, and everybody is just like, 246 in the house, the queen, all of that. It's like, I love you guys. I love you so much. Yes, I know, and of course, I love the six. But I'm happy to be a part of something like this where women, positive, beautiful, strong, successful women are sharing the same space virtually at this point, but sharing ideas and sharing views and encouraging each other, because we so need that amongst ourselves as women. Everybody that knows me knows that I have always been about female empowerment and making sure that we lift each other up and that we're not trying to pull each other down. And that is something that has been a part of me for as long as I know, long before I even gave birth to my daughter. And so it's something that is very, very, I'm very passionate about, and it's something that's very close to my heart. And wherever I go, I try my best to be able to inspire women to be there for each other. There's too many times that it happens that we as women are pulling down other women or decrying them in some way or shaming them in some form or fashion. And that never, it never works out to be a good thing. And I just really want to just reinforce that positiveness and viewing each other in a very positive way, because I believe that that has a lot to do with our young women that are coming up. Kids like my daughter. My daughter is turning 16 in the next couple of weeks. And I want to see her be able to thrive and go from strength to strength and be able to achieve whatever it is that she wants to achieve, and her peers. And we as women, as adult women, need to make sure that we are helping the younger ones that are coming along, the young girls and the young women that are coming into this, that what they have to offer is valuable, that they have value. And also because the world sees women of color as though we have no value, as though we have no real input, no real value. And that is something that's very scary to me. That is something that that it hurts me to my core, because we have gone through so much. We have sacrificed, we have fought to have our voices heard, to have our faces seen. There's still a lot of places where we have to fight to be seen. We have to make sure and keep pushing forward that people are seeing women of color, Black women and Indian and Asian and all of us of color. And it is something that it's something that's always in my head. It's something that's always going through my mind, and I'm always thinking about what other ways can I help? What other ways can I use my celebrity and my visibility to be able to encourage that betterment? And we definitely have to make sure and really look out for each other and be true sisters for each other. The sisterhood, of women. And I feel very, very, very humble, and I feel very honored when I get asked to be able to be a part of something like this with all of these beautiful, amazing women here. And I wish each and every one of you every success. I mean, we know that the world right now is in lockdown, and everybody is going through their various challenges, be it that you've been laid off, be it that your income has been reduced, or like myself, who is in the entertainment business, and I am now down to no work. I can't work overseas. I can't work at home. So I am also looking at other ways that I can earn money virtually, that I can earn money online, and that I can still do my empowerment and still be able to be positive and to help to keep my spirits up, because it's a difficult time right now. It's a very difficult time right now, and it's challenging. And I personally have been just kind of trying to keep myself up, to keep my spirits up, and to stay positive and to stay focused. And you have those down times, but overall, I think I've been able to just keep myself going and keeping myself busy and doing all of that. And I hope that for everyone that's listening, watching right now, that you find whatever that is that's going to help you to stay positive. Because as we know, mental health is a very serious thing. And we need to understand how to keep ourselves positive mentally and spiritually. And those things will help us to be able, once we help ourselves, we look after ourselves, then we can look outward to look after everybody else. So please, ladies, stay strong, stay beautiful, stay as amazing as you are. And thank you so much, Kara, for allowing me to take a little bit of your time.
Still working through these kinks. Unmute, mute, unmute. Thank
That's
you
okay.
so much, Ali. Oh my gosh, I'm based on the comments. You've made everyone's day. Yeah, these comments are so awesome. Thank you.
Oh, it's crazy.
That message was just perfect. Again, you, like I said, you are somebody that has always inspired me throughout me working in entertainment, and even before I came into entertainment. So it is an absolute honor that you are here with us today. And I know that everyone here is appreciative to have, these words, because right now it really is about, women connecting with each other, women supporting one another, and women being there for each other, because we are going through things that we have never experienced in our lives. And, it's great. We have, you have your guy friends, you have your husbands, you have your boyfriends, but there's nothing like the connection of you and another woman connecting and really supporting one another. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. I don't know, do you want to, drop a little 1 bar, a 2 bar, a 3 bar? I don't know if you want to.
Sure, 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 10 songs, I'm so glad. I'm looking at the comments and saying that the timing, of my words, and I feel very, very blessed, and I'm very thankful to each of you. And of course, if we're speaking about woman empowerment, there's only one song that can be done at this point. So I saw the hands up. So I'm just gonna do a little a cappella thing, you know what I'm saying?
Gonna get my little video.
When them fly up in your face, gal, make them know them place. #1 in the race, gal, could never replace. Independent and you're strong, gal, and you set the pace. fit and healthy living long, gal. Free yourself, gal, you got class and you got pride. Come together, cause we're stronger, unified. Roll, roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. Control it, gal, roll it, gal, roll, roll, roll. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. Control it, gal. Listen, go to school, girl, and get your degree. Nurture and take care of your picnic. Gal, you work hard to make your money. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal. If you know you're smart and you're sexy, never let them abuse your body. Show it off, girl, and let the world see. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. Control it, gal, roll it, gal.
Beautiful, beautiful voice. Ali, when are you gonna teach me take me in studio and let me do a little thing?
A little thing, right?
A little sing. I feel, ladies, don't you think I could do a little backup singing? Maybe some ad-libs in between. But thank you, Ali, for spending a part of your Sunday afternoon with us.
It was my pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Yes. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm seeing all the comments, and I'm scrolling through and seeing all the ladies, all of these beautiful ladies. It is, oh wow, look at this.
It's not stopping. It's not stopping.
Wow, look at this. All of these beautiful women. My goodness. Lord, we pretty. Good, we pretty.
Right. Oh my gosh.
We pretty.
I was going through the screen because you could put it in speaker view and you can kind of go from screen to screen and you see like 20 persons. Everybody on here is out in their Sunday best. Even if there's no makeup on.
Yeah.
Beautiful natural faces. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
Now we pretty boy. Oh God, we so pretty.
Caribbean woman is ting, you know.
What? It's all about Caribbean women, man. We bad. We bad. There's no doubt.
Do you want to actually take one question? I see a question here that says, do you have any advice for a new artist? I think that would be
okay. Yeah, for a new artist, it is. This business is a very fickle kind of business. You can be up today and the hottest thing, and then tomorrow is like Alison, what? Who's she? What she sing? So it's just that. It's just that kind of business. That's the type of business it is. And you always have to be looking at ways to be unique, to be fresh, to be different. And you also need to have a very good support system. And I mean people who are there, not an entourage. I'm talking about people who actually know something about the business, people that actually care about you, not just in terms of your career, but care about you as a person and as a woman. Because there's a lot of charlatans, there's a lot of shysters, there's a lot of hustlers in this business. And especially as a female, you have to make sure, and if you don't have a backbone, you have to get one, because there are going to be men that will come, and women too, unfortunately, but there are going to be men that are going to want to come to try to, well, I would do something for you if you give me something, and, that kind of stuff. That is still very evident. And you need to learn about the business yourself as an artist. Learn about copyright if you're a songwriter or a producer or arranger or any of that. Learn about copyright. Learn about what that means to you, how that translates into royalties for you, and make sure that you read that you know what's in your contracts, and that you read your contracts and you know what's happening. You know what's what. Even if you get management, your management has to report to you, and you have to make sure, because that can happen where management can feel as though you're working for them, but that's not what it is. They're working for you because there would not be a them if it wasn't for you. And so you have to remain in control. You are the boss as the artist. Everybody else around you, management, PA, band, whatever else, publicists, all those things, they're all working for you. So you need to make sure and keep an eye and a hand in everything that everybody is doing. Even if you're going to delegate, make sure that you know what's happening. Make sure you know what's happening with your money, because that is super important. Make sure that you understand your percentages of what management is getting and what the DJ is getting, what the band is getting, and all of these different things. And stay on top of that. It may seem like a lot, but it's important. It is super important that you know and you understand what's happening with the business side, because it's show business. There's some show, but the business is much more important. You have to keep a hand on that. Make sure that you are spiritually grounded on whatever your spirituality is, whether it's whatever religion, whatever it is. Make sure that that is going to be there to keep you grounded, because if you start to believe the hype, you're gonna end up in trouble. Because as soon as you start to believe all of this, people blowing smoke and, oh yes, you're the greatest thing and whatever. It's always good to have somebody in your team that's going to be that reality person. That's going to be like, all right, Allison, everybody else was like, yeah, Allison, the performance was so good and and then there's going to be that person that's going to be like, Allison, that wasn't your best performance, right? And I'll tell you why. You need that person. You need that person. That there are times when you do not want to hear that stuff, but you need to hear it in order for you to be able to progress and get better and improve all the time. There's always room for improvement. As long as I've been in the business, I'm always watching other artists, checking shows, doing all of this, looking to see what else can I do? How else can I improve? What can I do different? So you're always evolving, you're always creating. When it comes to your music, be anal about it. Be a perfectionist. Do not be an artist that wants to create something that is mediocre. We don't deal with mediocrity, because if you create music that you're not happy with, it is going to haunt you for the rest of your life, because every time you hear that song, you're gonna be like, I'm sorry that I ever do that song. And it's not gonna disappear. It's always gonna be there. So make sure that whatever you choose, whether you're writing your own stuff, if you have writers, producers, etc., that you produce quality music that, if possible, that you can create that is going to last beyond you. And as I said, just make sure and have people around you who are solid. You can have a couple of friends, but not too many, because they're just going to be yes people, and they're going to be people around you that just are in it to see what they can get out of it. So be vigilant, be aware, learn the business, stay spiritually grounded, and you will succeed.
Please welcome Anissa Adams.
Hello, lovely ladies. Oh my gosh. The energy that is coursing through my body right now, I can hardly contain it. Can you guys feel it? Like, honestly, it's just every part of me is somewhat like tingling. Every part of me just feels so energetic. Like oh man, I need some like real good music right now, right? Do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that energy? Do you feel how much energy has been created here? Like, even in my voice is somewhat trembling right now. Wow. Ladies, honestly, I am so blessed and so grateful to be connected with so many beautiful souls. And I know there's one soul out there that I want to say a shout out to my mama. My mama is from Guyana, born and raised, and she's representing Guyana and all the beautiful Caribbean ladies here. And I have to take a moment. Okay, let's do this. Let's all take a really deep cleansing breath. Okay? So breathe in. And breathe out. And I usually like to do this 3 times. Breathe in. And breathe in. Okay. Can you guys see my video? I'm not too sure. I'm getting different comments here of yes, no, maybe. Yes, yes, lots of yeses. Okay. So the reason I am here is because the connection and the unification of all of us creates such an energy that can continue on during this time. So we are in COVID-19, and I know that there is so much uncertainty, so much, you know, some people are very negative. So many people, you know, are spreading fear and anxiety. But right now, what I feel is so much positivity. I can feel it. Like every part of me, I can feel it. Can you ladies feel it? Because it's something that I want you to almost package up in a way and carry it with you. Because I know that the Caribbean ancestry, it runs deep. And we come from a long, oh my gosh, a long standing line of Caribbean women and strength. One of the things that I always recognized in my mom, and I know she is watching, and I know I probably don't say I love you enough, mama, but is your strength. And that strength has changed over time, okay? So we need to keep up with that, because I will say that as a Caribbean woman, we sometimes self-sacrifice. Are there women in here that can resonate with that? The self-sacrificing type of behavior. So I'm here to say that's over. And we need to use that strength in different ways, because when you know better, you do better. I just, oh my gosh, like the gratitude that I feel right now, it's just insane. Like it is insane. And the beauty that is coming from all these women of all these different shades and colors and creativity. And it's amazing. And I'm standing here and it's like I could pocket it all. And the feelings, and I know that there's some there that in the collective, I can feel that you're scared and you're anxious and you're worried. And you don't have to be. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be. Because there is so much strength passed down to you, and you are supported in so many ways that it's unbelievable. We all have a source to connect to, whether that is God, whether it's Allah, whether it is any other type of form of God, whether it's spirituality. I mean, Allison said it best, spirituality is important, right? Connecting to a source, because at the end of the day, that's where you're going to regenerate. She talked a little bit about, you know, what I like to call pouring from an empty cup. We can no longer pour from an empty cup. Ladies, you need to take those cups out. You need to fill it with wine. You need to bedazzle that shit. And you need to sport it like it's nobody's business. And you need to fill it up. Let it overflow. The energy that I feel from you ladies is that you can do absolutely anything. Anything you anything you put your mind to. See, I'm fumbling over words here. The energy is just so intense. It's so beautiful. Just like each of you. The potential. So I do a lot of energy-based work. And I will, you know, feel something from somebody when they post something, or when they, you know, say something. And I can feel if it's negative. I can feel if it's positive. I can feel if it's sad. I can feel if it's happy. And we honestly have to understand that we are all energy alchemists. So whatever energy you're feeling, you have the power and pretty much the magic to transmute it into what you need it to be. A couple of weeks ago, I was posting on LinkedIn that I was scared to be in front of a camera, in front of a video. And here I am, 2-3 weeks later, and I'm standing here in the presence of so much beauty and so much soul, whew, the spirit, universe, whatever you want to call that person, that being, it is beautiful. And it is all around us. I think one of the things I really want to talk about is how to transmute energy. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel some sort of energy that is not positive, it doesn't mean that you have to just ignore that energy. It means that you have to neutralize it. And how we do that is we accept it, we recognize it, and then we replace it. So if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling sad, recognize your sadness, live in it, feel it, and then put something else there. You know, you want to feel happy for the day, then put on your favorite soca song and shake your bati like nobody knows. Because we all know that for a Caribbean woman, the soul and the connection to music is amazing. And yes, I did say Batsy live. But it is amazing. And it's something that you can use that is so simple. And it creates so much change in transmuting your energy from something that was negative to something that was positive. And I use it all the time. About 4 years ago with my COVID-19, I found myself in chaos, pure chaos outside of me. And that chaos started to happen within me. I lost everything. I lost my home, my marriage, my job, my family, my friends, you name it. If there was where there's ground zero, I was underneath it, trying to dig out. And it wasn't until my daughter started reflecting back to me the energy that I was putting out there. Mommy, I'm not happy. Mommy, I don't want to live anymore. Mommy, I feel sad. That it like woke me up. So for a lot of us, this time right now is an opportunity to create self-awareness that we haven't had in a really long time. We are slowing things down. Slowing things down so that we can work on ourselves inside. Work on the things that we have been ignoring. So 3 ways that I do that is to transmute energy, that negative energy, into positive energy. Another way that I do that, and that I would encourage anybody else to do it, is through gratitude. I am standing here with so much gratitude right now that I have an iPad to work on, internet connection, running water, I can breathe, and that I am connected with all of you beautiful, beautiful ladies. Another thing that has really helped me is mindfulness. So mindfulness is being present in the moment. I'm standing here. I am standing here with you, with all of you, united. You know, I can hear my baby crying in the background down there, but I'm here in this moment. My heart is in this moment. My mind is in this moment. I'm physically in this moment. Every part of me, every sense of me is enjoying this moment. And we need to take moments like that and start building on them. Because when you start doing that, you start creating a flow of energy where it's in and out. You're not leaving opportunities for energy to get stuck, which we call stagnant energy. There's so much light and potential in all of you. Ladies, oh my goodness. I don't know how many people here are looking to start businesses or go try something new. But right now, the energy that you have inside of you is the energy of creation. And you are the co-creator of your life. So you can create whatever is inside. Like I talked a little bit about my story and how I was literally like underneath ground zero. And I have spent so much time looking for opportunities to create a life that I really chose. A big part of that is standing in the light of your truth And I am standing here today and I'm speaking my truth. I was in a really dark place, like a super dark place. Like, I don't want to go back there. And every day since that time, I have been building on these building blocks of mindfulness and gratitude and transmuting that energy through positivity to keep becoming the better version of myself. I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not trying to keep up with anybody else. I'm working just on me. And like I said, I do understand, and it's been my experience with my mom and such, and my family, that we do come from a very self-sacrificing paradigm. And it's really up to us to take a hold of that paradigm and create our own narrative. Our stories are so powerful. And I want each of you ladies to strip off anything that does not resonate anymore. Whether that means cutting out toxic people, setting boundaries, no is a complete sentence, then that's what you need to do. Because you know when you go on an airplane and they tell you to put on your mask first? I had a really hard time with that. I got to put it on my mom. I got to put it on my children. But if I'm not there, then who's taking care of them after the situation? Self-care is not just, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. It goes so much deeper. And we all have that right. It is like our birthright. It is our birthright. There is so much beauty and so much opportunity in just accepting what is inherently ours and discovering these gifts that are already inside of us. I have 4 kids, and I always try to tell them that whatever they are trying to learn, whatever they are trying to do, it's already inside of them. That they just need to work something out, to let it out, to share their beauty, to share their gifts with the world. There's so much that is going on right now, and empowerment for everyone is important. If you can just empower yourself and then the next day empower somebody else, that spreads. It's more contagious than COVID-19. And that is something that women were great at, because we have all of this really great feminine energy that we've been told has to be, shadowed or pushed aside, or, you're too sensitive, you're too caring, you're too compassionate, you're too, all of these great feminine energy, you're too nurturing. Tables have turned. COVID-19 is a shift in the world. And the tables have turned, and feminine energy is what we need to balance it out. And who better to spread feminine energy than all these beautiful, beautiful females that are here right now? Start with yourself. Start with self-care. Start with setting boundaries. Start with saying no. It's okay. It is okay to say no to something that does not resonate. It is okay to take a step back and need time for yourself. You're not being selfish. We need to get off this whole understanding that we're not being selfish. It's called self-preservation. If you cannot preserve yourself, how then can you pass anything on to anybody else? I wanted to get a couple of affirmations. I need to check how I'm doing for time here, because I can talk all day. I can talk all day, as you probably know. And there's so much energy that is going on with all the beautiful souls in here. They're speaking loudly, very loud. So one of the ways that I help myself, and one of the ways that I actually help my children, is through affirmations. So I'm gonna turn them this way. It's beautiful, beautiful situation here that I have. You could make your own cards. Bedazzle that shit too. Make it as pretty as you want. It's all good. So I'm gonna pick one. And I'm going to ask Spirit to help us to pick one that we all need as a collective, this beautiful collective of Caribbean women. I asked to pick one. What are we going to pick? What are we going to pick? Let's see. I'm going to do this one. Are you ladies ready? Okay, so this is the beautiful card. This is what it is. Can we all see it? Is it backwards? I don't even know. But I'm going to read it. It says authenticity. Oh. Authenticity. Oh my gosh, that word alone just like gives me all sorts of feels here. Authenticity is my power. I am authentic. I am genuine. There's way too many fake ass people around. Let's not be doing that. I am honest. Honest with yourself as well as others, okay? Ready for this? I honor myself and others by feeling my feelings. Wow. Spirit has spoken right here, because we were just talking about feeling your feelings and speaking my truth. Speaking my truth was my resolution or my goal for 2020, and look where I am right now. Speaking my truth. I am authentic. Okay. I'm going to give us something to do here. You're going to repeat after me at home. You're going to put your hand on your heart. Okay? Are you guys ready? Because this is going to send you some serious energy right now. Okay? Ready? Repeat after me. Authenticity is my power. I am authentic. I am genuine. I am honest. I honor myself and others by feeling my feelings and speaking my truth. I am authentic. You know, it's funny, I'm reading these cards and as I'm waiting, because it's almost as if I can hear you ladies reciting these words. Like, that's how much energy and that's how connected we are right now. You ready? I'm going to ask you a question. Okay? How were you true to yourself today? How did it feel? That is some real, honestly, Spirit has been speaking, and this is the card that I'm looking at. And anybody who emails me or whatnot wants to know where I got these cards from, then I can definitely share. Woo! Woo! The energy. So let's do some reminders right now. Okay? 3 things. Mindfulness, gratitude, transmute your energy into positivity. Like I said, it doesn't mean you have to wake up in the morning and be like, I'm so happy. Nobody is like that. That's not realistic. Okay? Next thing, authenticity. Channel your inner Rihanna. Be unapologetic for who you are. Jeez. I love that woman. But honestly, she's so authentic. And it doesn't mean you have to be another Rihanna. It means you just have to channel your inner Rihanna, whatever that may look like. Get your cups, ladies. Clear off the cobwebs. Fix those cracks. Bedazzle that shit. Fill it up. Okay? And breathe. Breathe, 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 breathe. It'll help you to be mindful. Somebody comes at you, something is challenging you, don't just head for it. Take a moment, be mindful, trust yourself, breathe, and then respond. Let's talk about self-sacrifice. So we all know that some, like our people, we worked hard. We had to physically work so hard to get to where we are. I know my mama worked so hard. I know my grandmother worked so hard in rice fields. I know all of this. But guess what? That is ended. And we need to change that mindset and end that too. Okay? And that's a huge thing that I notice with my family, that I notice with my Caribbean sisters, my friends. We need to change that mindset. We need to start co-creating a different mindset, right? Thank our ancestors for every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears they did to get us here to where we are, right? Now create something new. Put something else there. Plant new seeds. Let's heal that shit. Let's heal it right now. Like this is the biggest Caribbean audience that I've ever had. And I feel like this is an opportunity to really heal those wounds, right? Change the cycle, change the channel, connect to a different source, right? I'm working on that. I say that, and I'm a master of nothing. So don't say like, oh, she's got her shit together, she's all healed, because sometimes I fall into that trap. Sometimes I fall into that, trap of be heard, be seen and not heard, and overextending myself. How many ladies here overextend themselves for others? How many? I know there's lots. Yes, I can feel it. Yep, me too. Yep, me too. Yep, we got to stop that, because what we look for is gratitude, appreciation, and respect. How can somebody mirror that back to you when you don't give it to yourself? When you don't respect your own time? When you don't appreciate how much you've done in a day? How can that come back to you? We are all souls living a human experience. Souls are like mirrors, okay? They are very reflective. So when you meet somebody, or you're in a situation with somebody, and they start showing you something that you're like, ooh, I don't like this ugliness, understand that it's something that's being reflected back to you. If you meet somebody and they don't respect you, ask yourself if you respect yourself and how you show that. That was a big one for me. I do so much for everybody. Everybody should be okay with what I'm doing. I extend. And at the end of the day, I'm depleted. My cup has been beaten up. I don't even know where my cup is anymore sometimes, right? Dust off those cups. I don't know why my hands are constantly like this. It just feels good. Feel the energy. That's what it is. We're not exhausting ourselves. We need to care for ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves. And that starts like inside. Start reflecting on what people are triggering in you. Create self-awareness about it. Well, this girl doesn't like me. Well, why doesn't she like you? Is it because something you're doing? Or is it because, you have something that she doesn't like? You got a light inside of you, so it's triggering her, and she's triggering you because you feel competitive. Like everything comes from some root cause. And guess what? We are the gardener. Let's take a moment, because we are the gardener. We can plant what we want to rip out. We can fertilize what we want to fertilize. We can provide sun and water and do all of these things, because we are the gardener. I talk about plants because to me, when you nurture something, that's when you see it bloom, and it can bloom out of the muckiest of muck. We've all seen lotus flowers. We've all seen how they come up out of some of the grossest conditions. We can take accountability for ourselves. And accountability Sometimes it's not the road we want to take because sometimes there's a little bit of victim mentality there. I played the victim for years. It was really easy to play the victim, like super easy to do that. It was hard to get out of that mentality, but once I did, and when I catch myself tripping, I need to go back again and start, okay, I need to fertilize some more seeds. But ain't nobody got time for victim mentality. One of the things that really has helped me that maybe you can resonate with, the saying, oh, hell no. When something happens around you, you can't really control what's happening around you. You can say, oh, hell no, and you can control what's within you. And that is truth. Control what is in you. Ain't nobody can take anything from that. They will try. We all got a light. It's all got a dimmer switch. We can make it as bright as we want. We can give other people the controls to dim it as much as we want. But we all have that power. And I hope you ladies are feeling super powerful, because honestly, the energy that is just radiating, it's amazing. And I would not be here standing in front of you if I did not believe that you had the potential to create a life as beautiful as you want it to be. I'm in the process of creating a life as beautiful as I want it to be. And I am so grateful for every challenge that has come my way, because challenges, they can turn into blessings and lessons. And at the end of the day, they will create a change in you that will inspire more change and more creation. And I thank everybody for tuning in and for listening. And I'm sending lots and lots and lots of positive energy to all of my beautiful, authentic souls out there.
Question is, when did you discover that you were an empath?
Well, I used to see a lot of jumbies in my room. I don't know how many could resonate with the word jumpy, but I used to see a lot of spirits and jumbies in my room, and I was told that, and I used to get a lot of migraines and headaches, and I had no idea where it came from. And it wasn't until everything, like I said, everything came to like ground zero, I was like underneath there, that I started to actually understand that what I was seeing and experiencing, and the reason that I had gotten to where I was because I had this extra sense. So I will say I'm 38 now, and I will say probably 4 years ago when I actually started to say, like, this is what I am, or this is what I can identify with. I hope that helps. Jumbies are real, just so you know.
Awesome.
Souls are real.
This question is for Vanique. Why do you use the avalanche method?
That avalanche versus that snowball payment. I prefer the avalanche because it's subjective. It's just a quicker way to minimize or decrease or be done with your debt, and you get a chance to pay off the debt with the higher interest first. So I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It's just up to you, and it's a personal preference. But like I said, you get to pay the debt with the highest interest off first.
I wanted to know what advice she has for small business owners in regions that have restrictions on selling on Facebook and on Instagram.
Awesome. So I think I see two questions. I'll answer the one first, both of them. The first is, how important is it to have a blue check mark? So to be verified, and it's not important at all. I personally think it's just there for vanity. The only time I really think that having a verified profile, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, is important is if you start seeing people try to steal your intellectual property or try to, pretend to be you, then you have a case to create it up. Like many celebrities have low profiles, so they want to make sure that their brand is safe. But other than that, if you don't run into those issues, don't worry about it. And it's actually fairly easy. You can request to be verified within the app itself. There's no guarantee of approval, but you can request it pretty easily. And then the other question is for small business owners. Could you possibly add more commentary as to what restrictions, because we do have ad policy when it comes to the platform. We want to make sure that ads are safe and secure, and that we're keeping the platform safe for everyone to consume media. So if there's any restrictions, it's possibly just due to ad policy, which you can see all of the policies at facebook.com/businesses/resources and learn more information there.
I hope this resonates with you as much as it resonates with me. You know, be your sister's keeper. Look out for one another, support one another. It takes nothing to share an Instagram post, even if you can't afford to support their business by purchasing something. You know, you can share an Instagram post, you can share a Facebook post, you can tell somebody about the business. But, you know, we are one tribe. We are one Caribbean. So let's continue to support each other. You never know what your sister is going through and what a kind word can do for her. So let's just continue to support each other and uplift each other. Okay? To have money does not mean that you're successful. Success to me is impacting the life of someone else. And I believe in my heart that there's at least one person out of these 300, if not 10 or 20, that have taken value out of this. So I can honestly say that this was a huge success. And I thank you all for taking the time to be a part of Caribbean Women's Power Lunch first virtual event.